When you start VEDAViz, you'll be offered the choice to make a new view or open an existing view. It's often easier to get to know the system by exploring some existing views, so let's do that. You can also always make a new view or open an existing view with the icons up here. So here's a list of views that have been made and saved before, and let's take a look at this one. So this is a graph showing two variables in a variety of scenarios for the year 2035, which you can see up here. Two variables that I was interested in comparing the movements of across a variety of scenarios. Let's take a look at how this is put together by opening up the left panel. Each view in VEDAViz is made by selecting from scenarios, regions, variables, years, and graph types. So when we click on any of these, we can see the full list of items that we can select from. The ones that are checked are the ones we've selected. And when you hover over the names of these scenarios, you get the full description of what each scenario is. So this is the extended policies case and a description of it. And you can change the selection by checking and unchecking here. You'll also see that we have made some scenarios that are differences from the reference case so that we can see just the changes rather than the absolute values. In the region selector, this is a graph made of regional variables, so these are the electricity regions, and the selector up here shows you that they are being summed over all the regions. Here's the variables that we've selected, and so again the tooltip will give you more information. So the purple bars are cumulative unplanned additions of gas combined cycle, and the green ones are total wind capacity. And we've selected the year 2035. And you can see that the scenarios have been chosen to be along the x-axis using this selector up here. And we've chosen a column chart type so we can see these variables next to each other. So that's how this one was put together. We can look at different scenarios if we like by changing the selection here. And the scenario generator is a grouping of scenarios that belong together. So for example, we could say, let's add all of the scenarios that change the resource supply and only look at ones that are absolute scenarios, not differences from the reference. That gives us a total of 18 scenarios. So when we hit select, they're populated here, and we can regenerate the chart. So now we see the same two variables, but with our new selection of scenarios. When you hover over any of the data elements, you can see the full description of the attributes that have been selected, as well as the data numbers themselves. And we can also see all of the numbers in a table by using this selector over here. And these can be downloaded directly to Excel using this selector. Let's take a look at another previously existing table, coal production by region and type. Here we've selected the full suite of different coal types from different coal supply basins and put them into a stacked column chart. We've selected every 5 years using a saved set of checked years. And we've put the scenarios into a multiple grid so that we can see the scenarios side by side next to each other. So this allows us to see how the overall picture of coal production changes in various scenarios. So for example, we can immediately see that in the GHG price scenario, there's unsurprisingly a great decrease in coal production, whereas in the low coal cost case, there's a great increase. We can pop open any one of the individual charts into full size using this icon, and then we can see the full detail for that scenario and switch between scenarios by using the icons over here. So we can see how, for example, coal production moves between the high coal cost case and the low coal cost case. Now suppose I want instead to zero in on one particular coal type. Let's just choose this biggest coal type, Powder River Basin coal, and see how it moves across different scenarios. I can change the way this graph is put together by now unchecking all the coal types, searching in here for WPRB, let's take scenario off multi and change the chart type to a line graph. And now we'll see a line for each of the scenarios. So here we can see the lowest trajectory is from the GHG price case, the highest trajectory is from the low cost coal case, and the high cost coal case is the second lowest. And then we have the shale cases are some of the next bordering ones. So let's try putting a new graph together. In the variables panel, we have a variable dictionary where we can search for variables of interest. So you'll see the variable name, how it shows up in the legends on the chart, and then a fuller description. And let's search here for variables related to industry. Let's look at the combined heat and power capacity. So I can see that by industry these are named TOT for total, gen cap, and then combined heat and power. So let's search here for that. TOT star gen cap CO, and then it'll give me all the combined heat and power capacity variables by industry. I can check all. Close this panel. And let's use SendG to select the resource scenarios, absolute only, and put the scenarios on the x-axis. Let's pick a year, about 2025, and make a stacked column chart so we'll see all of the different industries stacked together. So here is cumulative CHP capacity by industry, refinery, paper, other, and so on. We can sort these to see which scenarios have the highest capacity by using the sort here. It'll ask us which variable we want to sort on. Let's sort on all. And so now the total capacity is ranked from highest to lowest. So the high oil price is the one with the highest cumulative capacity, and the other high oil price case is the next. So that's a little introduction to what you can do with VEDAViz.